we really have too many pumpkins? I don't think so. I think really the more the better. Hi everyone, my name is Shannon and welcome to my channel here called The Daily DIYer. The next time you're at Dollar Tree, grab yourself some of these wire form pumpkins. If you can't find them at Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby also has another version of this. It's a little bit more expensive, but they also are a little bit nicer of quality too. Today, I'm gonna show you how to hack some of these, create some beautiful projects, and also some very unique ones. But before we get started, I do wanna thank KiwiCo for sponsoring today's video. So first off, I have to say, my son was so excited. As soon as I said KiwiCo, he knew exactly what I was talking about and was so excited. But if you are new to KiwiCo, this is an amazing company that is defining the future of play by making it engaging, enriching, and seriously fun. They create super cool hands-on projects and toys designed to expose kids to concepts in STEAM. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math. Each monthly crate is designed by experts and tested by kids and teachers, and there's a new theme with hands-on learning and fun each month. KiwiCo offers 8 subscription lines, each catering to different age groups and topics. Each box comes with all the supplies that you'll need for that month's project, so there's no extra running to the store, which I can definitely appreciate. There's detailed, kid-friendly instructions and educational magazine filled with content to learn even more about that crate's theme. KiwiCo believes that by learning the skills to problem solve, innovate, and create, kids can truly change the world tomorrow. So our kiddos may be small today, but they'll definitely be big tomorrow. KiwiCo lets kids remind us grown-ups the real power of small, because once they learn to solve problems today, who knows what kids might do tomorrow. As a kid, I would have loved to have received KiwiCo, as I was always crafting, I was always being creative, and always trying to come up with new things to do with my art supplies. And of course, KiwiCo has amazing boxes for kiddos, but they have not forgotten us adult crafters too. This is the Maker Crate, and it came with all the supplies that I needed to learn a new craft called punch needle art. As much crafting as I've done in my life, this was a absolute new thing for me, so it was a new skill that I learned, and it was also so much fun too. And I'm so excited to give you all the opportunity to try KiwiCo 2 yourselves at a discounted rate. So if you go to kiwico.com/TheDailyDIYer, you'll receive 50% off your very first month. So definitely check the description box below for more details and a link. You can see my pillow is starting to come together, and I can't wait to finish it so I can put this pillow together and use it. Now let's dive into these wire pumpkin Dollar Tree hacks. So we're gonna go back to our elementary school days, and we're gonna do some Mod Podge. I have to say, I always really enjoyed this in school, so I'm really looking forward to trying it with this pumpkin form. So all I have basically is some newspaper, some Mod Podge, which you can also go back to the old school way, grab some white glue, water it down a little bit. You have the same effect. I'm just gonna pour some of my Mod Podge into a bowl, dip my paper into it, and then lay it over this form. I found it easiest to just fold my newspaper and then cut up the sides to make my strips of paper. I made some small ones and also some thicker ones just so I had some options, and then started dipping the newspaper into the Mod Podge and then kind of rubbing it off to get the excess off. And I will say the Mod Podge was super thick, so I ended up just adding a small amount of water into the bowl and mixing that up to water it down and kind of thin it out. This does a couple things. It makes it a little bit easier to work with, and it also will make your glue go a little bit farther, so you're not using quite so much. So I started by laying my longer strips from side to side, and then I came in with shorter strips and went from top to bottom. This kind of gave it a couple extra layers of strength and also kind of created a band-aid effect to make sure everything stayed together so it could dry. Once it is completely done, you go ahead and let it sit overnight. You want this completely dry before you move on to the next step. I came in with an X-Acto knife to help me cut it away from the wire form, and then popped it off so I just had that newspaper casting. Then what I did is I came in with some scissors and trimmed up the edges to clean it up. Now I wanted to give my pumpkin a jack-o'-lantern face, so I came in with my super sharp X-Acto knife and just cut out all of the elements, his eyes, nose, and mouth. And then here's where the magic is really going to happen. We're gonna turn this from what looks like a paper casting into one that looks like a copper hammered metal. It's gonna be gorgeous. So very first thing is to spray paint the top and the bottom with 2 coats of matte black spray paint. Let that dry really well. That's gonna cover and hide all of our ad listings on the newspaper and give us a base layer for this copper spray paint. And then I gave this 2 coats just on the top side and left the inside black. So he's now looking pretty cool, but we're gonna add a couple extra embellishments to him to really give him some personality. These are burlap leaves from Walmart. You got 6 of them for only a little over $1. And I'm gonna be using 2 of these for the top there, and also using some black wire that I twisted around a pencil to kind of give him some vines. Just hot gluing that onto the top, and then we have a beautiful faux copper metal pumpkin decor piece. Yarn wall hangings are so popular right now, so I thought we would make a cute one for fall. All of this yarn is also from Dollar Tree. Very, very nice quality yarn. And we're basically going to make a pumpkin yarn hanging. But first we need to dismantle this pumpkin. So I'm taking my wire cutters and all of the 3D pieces that are protruding, I'm gonna cut those off. That's gonna leave us with a nice pumpkin silhouette. Now you just want to gauge about how long you want your yarn to hang on the bottom of your pumpkin. Double that up and then start cutting lengths of yarn to that size. So the middle is a little bit shorter, the next ones over are a little bit longer, and the ones on the edge are the longest for my pumpkin, but you do yours however you want. To install these, we're going to put the ends together, make a loop at the other end, put that loop underneath our wreath form and put the tails through that loop and pull tight. We're going to continue repeating that process throughout to hang all of our yarn off of the sides. Now, of course, you can stop here and keep it simple, but I thought it'd be pretty to add some of these Dollar Tree fall flowers onto the bottom and the sides too, just to add a little bit of extra cuteness and detail to it. But of course, change this to match and fit your own home's decor. All right, so now I'm gonna attempt to make a topiary. It looks good in my head. We'll see how this goes. I have 4 of the wire pumpkins. I'm gonna start by using some zip ties to wire 2 of them together back to back like this. And I wanna stack these, so this top one, I'm gonna leave the stem on it, but the one underneath it, I'm gonna trim the stems off. So now we need to attach these, and zip ties just kind of made it wobbly. So my idea was to insert some popsicle sticks in between each one, hot glue them so that they would kind of attach a little bit more securely. And you can see here kind of a close-up of how I did that. Unfortunately, it was still pretty wobbly, so I came in with some long barbecue skewers from Dollar Tree and inserted that straight down the middle of both of them. Next, I trimmed down the tall part of the skewer so it wasn't sticking out of the top, but I left the bottom longer, thinking I might need to stick that down into something to secure it. I also cut off and trimmed those popsicle sticks so they weren't so long. I would suggest at this point painting out those sticks too so they blend in with the wire a little better, but I kind of thought maybe since it was neutral it would blend. But honestly, I wish I would have painted it, so keep that in mind. And then I am just zip tying on some leaf garland from Dollar Tree. I zip tied in some old lights that I had too. And here you can see this has such a pretty effect at night when those lights are on. Such an affordable way to create a topiary for under $10 using Dollar Tree supplies, whereas usually these are much more expensive if you purchase them at a retail store. Now we're gonna make sort of a smaller topiary slash luminary with one of these galvanized buckets from Dollar Tree and two of these pumpkins that yet again I am zip tying together to create that 3D form. Then we need to make a base for this, so I cut down this is one of the garden stakes from springtime, and I took it apart, sized it so that it would fit inside the galvanized bucket, and then used my handsaw and miter box to cut that down to size. Now we need to attach this piece of wood onto the bottom of our pumpkin. I'm gonna show you my new favorite crafting tool. I just found it on Amazon. It is a battery-powered staple gun. So yes, you can recharge it, but there's no more hand cramps to use all of your power and might to use a regular stapler, and you don't need an air compressor with the other ones. Super easy, quiet, and works really well. I believe you can even use it with brad nails too, so check that out. I'll link that down below. I also added another piece of wood on top with some hot glue, sat it right on top of my galvanized bucket, added a candle, and added it to our mantle. So also, this is another way to use that same pumpkin. If you still have one of these plant hangers from the springtime at Dollar Tree, just attach it to the top of your pumpkin. You only need 2 of these chains. It comes with 3, so it's really easy to just use some wire cutters and snip off that extra piece of chain that we don't need, but keep the hook on the top so you can attach it to a hook on your porch. You can see here, I just added some faux plants to this. This would be cute with some mums. You could fill it with some pumpkins. You could put candles in there, and it's just so simple and easy, and also a really beautiful decorative porch piece. And now we're gonna make a floral arrangement with this pumpkin. I grabbed a couple of these burlap ribbon rolls from Dollar Tree. And this next step you can kind of skip altogether, and you'll see why here in just a minute. I did cut out the middle top of this pumpkin and the stem because I thought I needed to leave room to add my flowers to, but you don't have to do that, and I'll show you here why in just a second. But before you get to that, you just wanna weave your burlap through those wires on the pumpkin to create a solid effect. If you don't put burlap all the way up to the top, then you don't have to put that hole at the top like I did, because basically that'll allow room for you to stick your florals down into the top. So I just had fun adding different floral elements that I already had around the house. Some are from the Target Dollar Spot, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, just odds and ends that I had, and combined them to create a pretty pumpkin floral arrangement. You could put this on a front door or on a wall in an entryway and really personalize this to match your own home's decor. Please take a second to hit that thumbs up button. That helps my channel so much. I would love to have you subscribe if you are new, and let me know down in the comments below which one of these projects was your favorite. I'll also have more information about KiwiCo, so don't forget to check that out, and I'll have more DIY videos popping up on your screen that you can check out next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.